911.
I don't know. My husband was shot.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No. He's at the hospital right now, and Tyrone, everybody's up there. I'm gonna be honest, it does not look good.
Oh, no.
This guy got into you, he got into your head, you guys are working together, he's playing you.
2-year-old Camille Hassel learned her punishment today in Berrien County. Last month, a jury found her guilty of the January killing of Sergeant Tyrone Hassel III.
The story of Army Sergeant Tyrone Hassel III is indeed a difficult tale to tell, as how does one begin to explain a love story that ends with a bullet to one's heart, dying by the hands of the very person who vowed to protect you at any cost? Let's take a trip down the New Year's Eve of 2018.
So how did it go that night? Let's talk about that night, then we'll back up, then we're gonna reorganize all this, okay? Talk to me.
That night, he said that he was in Michigan. He said that he was waiting for him. When he was saying that he was waiting for him, I'm like, no, he's not at the house. I don't really know where he is, but he's not at the house. I told him, I said, he's going to be coming back soon. He came back to the house, nothing happened.
You called him back to this, so was that...
No, when he went to Walmart.
Oh, he went to Walmart, okay.
Yeah. I said, he's going to be coming back. I said, he just left, he's going to be coming back soon. He came back from Walmart, nothing happened. Nothing happened when he left, and nothing happened when he came back. So from there, I was just like, okay, this is not going to happen. So when he told us about the food, he was saying that he was going to get the food, and then, wondering where the food is, and I was going to say, never mind, don't bring the food. And then I just said, then I was like, okay, well, you're going to bring the food anyways, just bring it. And then he was out there, and he was watching the house the whole time.
As both Tyrone and Kimia were in the military and would often go long months without seeing each other, Kimia started to feel dissatisfied with the relationship and began to seek companionship elsewhere. But she didn't search so far as she fell in love with a fellow officer, Jeremy Kruller. As their relationship got deeper, they began to plot a way to get rid of Tyrone so they could truly be together. However, this plan proved to be their downfall.
So he's at the house, he's like, yeah, we're going to shoot off a couple rounds, once 12 o'clock hits. And the rounds that I have, are home defense. And I don't want to use my expensive home defense rounds, so I'm going to stop by Walmart and get the cheaper ones. I said, okay. So he goes, get the cheaper ones, comes back, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to get ready to go to Fredo's house. I'll probably end up spending the night there because he said he's going to be drinking and everything. I said, okay, well, that's fine because I know that Fredo is one of his good friends, so I don't mind him spending the night over there. And then two, I was with the baby at the house anyway, so, we're going to be there anyway. So, he says, that everybody's at Damani's house, and Damani is his cousin, and, they're cooking and everything. I said, oh, yeah, me and the baby going to need some plates, because, it was nothing that, it's New Year's Eve, nobody's cooking at the house, everybody's going to go to one specific house where they're cooking and eat there. So, he's like, okay, well, yeah, I'll do that, I'll get y'all some food from Damani's house. So, he leaves the house, and they're at Damani's house, and maybe about 35 minutes go past, maybe 45. Now I call him, I'm like, hey, what you doing? And he's like, excuse me. And he's like, I'm at Damani's house. I was like, how's the food going? He's like, oh, they're still cooking. I was like, okay, they're making chicken and wings. So I said, all right, cool. I'll see you soon. So maybe an hour and a half has gone by, and I called him, I'm like, babe, like, what's going on? Like, why? Oh, what made me call him, I saw, like on Facebook, they were doing this thing, like, see a shot, take a shot, and I saw him, and I was like, you drinking, you taking shots, like, what are you doing? I thought you were waiting for food at Damani's house. He was like, I am, they're still cooking it. I said, okay. So, it was probably about maybe, like, almost 2 hours now. I really don't know time, I'm just trying to pinpoint a little bit. It was maybe about 2 hours, and I was just trying to feel like...
They plotted to shoot Tyrone outside of his family home in Michigan when he came to visit, making it seem like a drive-by incident and removing all connections to them. Kimia would give Jeremy the signal to take the shot once the opportunity presented itself. However, it took them 4 long days agitating and hoping their plan works out before Jeremy had a clear shot. That fateful night, she was supposed to accompany her husband, but she chose to stay home.
I know he's taking a long time, the baby, he's saying eat, maybe I should just say, like, don't bring nothing, we just eat something at the house. But then I thought about it, I was like, no, that's okay, because, he's going to be bringing the food over here anyway, so that's fine. So, he comes home, it's about 11, I don't really know the time, it's about 11, I'll say. And he comes in and he drops the food off, and he's like, I was trying to think because I'm thinking I don't know if I want to bring in the new year with you guys or if I just wanted to just go back out. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. You should just bring the new year in with us because you know they was going to be at home anyway. He was going to go back out after 12. And I was like, that'd be good. And he was like, nah, but I probably won't do that because my dad told me that he wanted me to come be back at the house before 12 o'clock. And I was like, oh, well, if he already said that, then just go back. He was like, all right, well, I'll see y'all later. And I was like, okay. He gave me a kiss, gave the baby a kiss, and then me and the baby are sitting on the couch eating. And then I heard him open the door, and he walked out the door, and as soon as I heard the door close, I heard, like, now I know that it was 6 gunshots. I heard 6 gunshots fall off. And as soon as I heard them, like, it was literally right behind my head. And as soon as I heard them, like, what is that? And I noticed, I'm like, I don't hear his truck on. So I picked the baby up, he was in my lap, and I put him in a room, and he was screaming, crying, because he heard the gunshots, and they were scaring him, so he was, like, in my lap, jumping as they were going off. And I put him in a room, and I closed the door, and I ran to the front, not the front door, but the side door. It had, like, this kind of like a stained glass, but not really stained glass, you can still kind of see out of it. And I looked, and I seen him laid up against his truck. So I instantly ran outside. Like, I didn't have shoes on. I wasn't even thinking if somebody could have still been out there, but I just saw my husband laid out, so I went out there. And I'm like, babe, get up, and he was not responding at all. So I ran in the house, got my phone, I called 911. I'm like, y'all gotta hurry up. My husband's been shot, and they're asking, the address and everything, and the police got there. They got there pretty fast, and he died in my arms. I heard, like, the gurgling sound in his throat.
Seeing as her husband had been shot, Kimia immersed herself deeply in mourning her dead husband so that one might have been fooled by her act. If she didn't want to be with Tyrone, why did she choose cold-blooded murder over getting a divorce and having each other part ways? He had been shot 4 times, 3 of the shots which landed in his head.
I heard everything. I was laying there, like, because he was, like, propped up against the truck like this, so I was just laying there on top of him. I was hoping that he would blink or touch me or something. I was just hoping that I would just hear something or something would give me hope, but it didn't happen. The police got there and the ambulance got there, and then they took him away to the hospital. And once they took him to the hospital, I went to the hospital and I sat there for a while. I was there for some hours. I sat there with him, even though I knew that he had passed on already. I still sat there with him because I don't know, I just had to look at him. I didn't really want to see him because I didn't like the way the blood and everything. Sure. But he was covered and his hands are just so cold. And I just sat there and I laid his hand like kind of on my face a little bit. And we just sat there for a little bit and that was it. And then at that point, then the rest of the family started coming into the hospital.
Yeah, that's tough. So did you see anybody when you went outside? Was there, I mean, you heard the shots, you're right there.
I heard the shots, but, and a lot of the police were saying that witnesses heard tires screeching. I didn't hear any of that. And I think that the reason why I didn't hear it because I was just so shocked about hearing the gunshots and seeing my husband laid out that I know I didn't see anybody because I didn't even look around. I instantly ran outside to him, like ran right down the stairs to him.
Fair enough.
The real kicker in the case comes when their secret relationship is out in the open, placing them both in the lead suspects category as they surely had a motive now. It is impressive how she can sit here with a straight face, some fake tears, and lie about the death of her husband. Thankfully, these detectives are not buying her story.
As far as clearing you today, did you ever think about doing anything to your husband? Did it ever cross your mind, even in the darkest of times or anything like that? Did you ever do anything? He's not mistreating you, he's not out running around, he's not...
Because he never did anything to me that would make me feel like I didn't want to be with him anymore. And that's another thing that I was saying, like, you know, it wouldn't have to be anything like this. Like, if I didn't want to be with him, we could just get a divorce, you know? But
yeah, we got a kid, too.
Exactly.
And I think the kids need to be with mom. That's huge.
Yeah, you know? And that's what I've always wanted. I've always wanted a family. I never, and that's the father of my child. That's what I want to be with. I got his initials tattooed on me before we were even official boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, when we got together, I knew that that's who I wanted to be with. And I've always felt like that.
So there wasn't any time you ever, no planning, never talked to anybody, there's nothing anywhere, okay. And these are just questions that I asked, I have to go through.
No.
There's no reason anything forensically, computer-wise. I mean, like I said, when I was in computer crimes, I mean, Snapchat, Facebook, everybody thinks like all those. I mean, they got all those new things like, oh, what is it, a Signal and all those things. All those things, they're in your phone. They're not gone.
Yeah.
I mean, Snapchat tells you that, so you'll send that naked picture away. And
Yeah.
you think it's gone, but it's there.
Yeah.
So, they'll take all that stuff out. There's nothing in your phone that's going to be anything bad.
They have my phone right now.
Okay. No, I'm just saying there's nothing bad in there. Okay.
No. They're spending time having my phone.
Okay. What kind of person do you think would be involved in this?
She expertly answers the questions, playing the part of the heartbroken widow who just lost her husband, but she's not fooling anyone and soon the tides turn. Pay close attention to what the cops say.
If you were to walk in the room right now, what would he say to you?
I don't know what, my husband?
I mean, they know everything. He's gone now. He knows everything.
Yeah.
What would he say if you saw you right now?
Probably just tell me everything will be okay and that he loves me. And that's just what I've been thinking about this whole time, because I don't know. I felt that maybe I probably was tripping and just was seeing stuff, but the whole time we've been here, we have not been able to find my son's charger for his tablet. The day before yesterday, it magically appeared. And we have not seen it since December 20th. All the way up until January 10th is when his charger was found.
On the other side?
That's strange, and I feel like, you know, with everything that's been said, everything that he knows already, you know, information that I know now, or just me just being able to keep him in the house longer and not bring him to the house, and I don't know, like I got to a point where I kind of started like blaming myself a little bit, because I was feeling in myself, like, you know, just say never mind, just eat something at the house, but I felt like I was kind of rushing him to hurry up and get home to bring him something to eat, because the baby's like, eat, and I was like, you know, hurry up and bring something to the house, because he keeps saying that he's hungry.
Do you think a person deserves a second chance? Someone's involved with this? Not saying they necessarily did it, but they're involved with it. In any way, should get a second chance?
Mm-mm.
No?
My husband didn't have a chance to do anything.
No. Have you ever been accused of something in your life you didn't do?
Nothing serious like this. I've been accused of like, oh, she said this, she's done that, but nothing serious like this.
What percent of the truth have you been with the detectives?
100%. From the time that I called them up until today.
How do you feel about taking this test today?
I need to take it.
We can see where the detective is going with this line of questioning. However, it seems like only Kimia cannot tell that the cops are onto her, as no one can be this talkative after the death of her husband, going on and on about irrelevancies when their husband has been murdered. Well, unless you're the murderer, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'll be honest with you, doing this 24 years, I've seen people get themselves wound up in the stupidest things in the world, but they're not bad people. So I don't want to ask you a question you can't pass. So how can I word a question that you feel good that you can pass? What can I ask you?
Just like the one with, do you love your husband? I think that's a pretty good question to ask. And since I've talked to the police and everything, you asked me, do I know who the person is who did it? That's a good question, because I know who it is since I've talked to the police. And the one, would I do anything to hurt my husband? No.
Yeah, I don't think you would. I mean, especially not now. I don't know if there's anything in the past. Did you, and like I said, I want to be really careful. I want to make sure you're good with it, because this is you and I. I'm working for you today, all right? As far as, did you plan with anybody, or did you participate, or did you know this was going to happen? Anything like that?
But that's pretty much what they're saying.
They are saying that too?
That's what the police are saying.
Well, I'm just trying to clear you the most, and that's what I said. When we get done with this test, I'm not going to go and talk to them.
Yeah,
right?
and that's the thing.
You and I will talk. We need to rearrange something.
Yeah, that's the thing that overwhelms me so much. Hearing them say, well, you did this, you planned this, and it's like, no.
You know, I'm not saying that at all. I don't say that. Exactly. I'm asking you. I'm just trying to clear you the much. If you can't pass, I don't want to put something on your test you can't pass. You know what I'm saying?
Why I list those questions that I said, because I feel like those will probably be the best ones.
Okay. So as far as participate.
because I work like, as close as we are, I work like that. Like, it's what kind of confused me. And talking to the detectives is what, well, the police or the detectives is what kind of like threw me for a loop for them to say, you know, he's saying this, he's saying that. And it's like, why would he even be saying that? And the police was like, oh, well, we feel like you're making an excuse. And I'm like, making an excuse for what? You know? That's why I just felt like I was so overwhelmed, but...
Okay. Jamie, what kind of a guy is he?
It seems like her partner in crime doesn't hold out well under pressure, and neither does she as soon as she slips up. Realizing that it is every man for themselves when faced with a case like this, she tries to throw Jeremy under the bus.
The type of person that he is, he's like a firecracker. Like I told the police, he's a firecracker. Like, the smallest thing can set him off. And no matter what it is, he'll be mad all day about it. It can be the smallest thing. So like, say for instance, we're late for work. And say one day I'm late for work, but my NCOs don't say anything. And let's say later on in the week he's late for work, and he gives a counseling statement. And you know, too many counseling statements, you can get in trouble. And he's like, oh, why the F y'all give me a counseling statement? Or, you know, he'll blow up about it and be upset all day because of something like that.
But I find that kind of personality, sometimes they're very manipulative people. They can be very strong that way. If he blows up, stuff like that. Was he with you? Has he ever been pushy with you or manipulative to you? Is he one of those kind of guys that is he, you know what I'm saying?
I can see that a little bit. I haven't really experienced it like on a serious level with him, but like being around and like hearing him talk on the phone and hear how he talks is he can be like that, definitely.
And the reason I say it too is I know in my uncle's situation where he said, okay, the guy he was with, it's almost like when he's with him, it took over. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't know if there's anything with this guy, if he's one of those guys that's kind of, you know, possessive, controlling, things like that.
He is though, because like with the other people that we work with, he can like tell somebody, oh, you need to make sure you're standing up for yourself. Like with that firecracker temper, and it'll pretty much just make the other person that we work with act the same way, like literally the same way, like it just passed on to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, like you said, it's manipulative, but I don't know, it's just something where it's like a firecracker temper where he just blows up about anything.
Right. As far as with you, has you been, and I say this, I know you're in the service, when you get in the service and you're in these stressful situations, you got guys, I remember being over there, and I know that it seems like sometimes, mostly ladies are not mistreated, but they're kind of pushed on harder, you know what I'm saying? And it's a guy's world over there, kind of. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Okay, I'm not being offensive, I'm saying...
No, you're not, because I work with only males.
Hey, and I don't care for it, I don't like it, I mean, it's just one of those things, that's the atmosphere that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Was he ever manipulative with you, or did he ever push you? I mean, is there anything, this is you and I talking as far as, are you guys, did he ever try anything with you? You guys ever have a relationship? You may have. I don't know, I don't care. That's...
Sometimes less is more, especially when you're being questioned by the cops. In a bid to cover up what you've done, you might just reveal yourself. When they were deployed to Korea, she refused to share a room with her husband and instead resided in the same barracks as Jeremy, which is when their affair was discovered. But Tyrone refused to believe this.
We literally worked right up under each other, so we didn't really have a choice but to get close with everybody that we worked with. I mean, we didn't really have that much of a choice. So when they asked, and I told them, like, yeah, we're work friends because we never went out anywhere by ourselves. And they're like, oh, well, first you said that you guys are work friends, and then you said that you would be his shoulder to cry on.
Let's not talk about those guys. I don't care what they say. It doesn't matter. I just,
yeah,
if there's something there,
yeah,
I'm
we
just
were
saying.
good friends. So when we would talk about stuff, we would talk about, you know, things going on with in our lives. So if we're having a regular conversation about our spouses, and he's like, yeah, you know, my wife, she does this, does that. I was like, oh, my husband don't do that. And he'd be like, what? He doesn't hold the door open for you? Or what? He makes you pay for your own food sometimes? And I'm like, yeah, that's normal. And that's why I was saying that if there was like a personal vendetta against him, that could have been what it was. Just me being normal and venting about stuff that was going on.
And guys and girls, it's the most dangerous thing because you vent to each other, and what happens?
And
he's into you, he can be into you, and then he's kind of building on there.
You never know, and it's just like one day somebody just snaps and you're like, why are you even acting like that? And it's because they just built this imaginary relationship because of all the emotions and feelings that they have gained from y'all just having what you felt was regular conversation and just being able to get certain stuff off your chest.
After getting her to believe that they were a team and that the detective was on her side because he truly believed that she was innocent in all of this, she caves in and reveals just how they had planned to carry this out.
But we got to get out in front of this.
So, when we were in Korea, I can't really pinpoint exactly when it was. Me and Ty had this big argument, and then, I came back into the building and I was talking to Jeremy. I'm like, man, I don't want to be with him no more. Like, I'm tired of this shit, I don't want to deal with it no more. And he was like, so why y'all still together? And I was like, we have a child, and even if I talked to him about divorcing, he probably wouldn't even, do it with me. And he was like, I can handle that. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He was like, I can handle it. Like, shit, when I get back, I get a gun, blah, blah, blah. But I never took him serious about it. I never thought that he would.
No, wait, this is where to stop here, though. Okay, I'm in your corner 110%. I'm not bailing. But the one thing I don't do, I'm not a guy that's going to beat around the bush and go halfway and say that, yeah, he told me this and he was going to do it. Because when I asked you about that night, it's killing you. Because that night, stuff was going down. And whether you weren't sure what was going to happen, you were afraid, you want to keep your little one out of it, you didn't want it to happen in the house, I get that. And I give you credit for letting it happen outside the house. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you didn't get him out of the house, if he'd stayed with you probably till midnight or 12:30, I'm not too sure Jeremy wouldn't come in that house. Because what's he want? He wants you. You know what I'm saying? And you knew that was going to happen. What I got to do is talk to that. Because they got him coming there. They know he's coming there. You knew he was coming there. What we need to do is talk about that, because this is off the charts. I'm only telling you what's off the charts. We need to talk about that night. You knew it was going to go down. You were still under his control. There's no doubt. I believe that 100%. But you got to explain what was going on that night. How did you do it? Did you know he was sitting there? Because he was there for a couple days, so you knew all this was going on. Were you guys seeing each other while he was in Michigan? You planned it. Was your part of that plan? So how did it go that night? Let's talk about that night. Then we'll back up. Then we're going to reorganize all this. Okay? Talk to me.
That night, he said that he was in Michigan. He said that he was waiting for him. When he was saying that he was waiting for him, I'm like, he's not at the house. I don't really know where he is, but he's not at the house. I told him, I said, he's going to be coming back soon. He came back to the house, nothing happened.
You called him back to this, so was that...
No, when he went to Walmart.
Oh, he went to Walmart, okay.
Yeah. I said, he's going to be coming back. I said, he just left, he's going to be coming back soon. He came back from Walmart, nothing happened. Nothing happened when he left, and nothing happened when he came back. So from there, I was just like, okay, this is not going to happen. So when he told us about the food, he was saying that he was going to get the food, and then, wondering where the food is, and I was going to say, never mind, don't bring the food. And then I just said, then I was like, okay, well, you're going to bring the food anyways, just bring it. And then he was out there, and he was watching the house the whole time.
He knew he was there?
Where was he?
Where was he hiding at? Where did you have him at?
He was somewhere by the house, but I don't know exactly, because I never told him hi right here, because I don't really know the area. He was out there days before, like, figuring out where he was going to be.
Okay. And you guys now...
Kimia was convicted on July 18, 2019 of first-degree premeditated murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. On August 29th of 2019, she was sentenced to life in prison without parole. While Cuellar pleaded guilty to second-degree murder on July 30th, 2019 and was sentenced to 65 to 90 years in prison, he later requested to withdraw the plea, but the Michigan Supreme Court refused to hear his case in 2021. If you love true crime content, then subscribe to see more content like this.